Okay, so you're gonna pick out a shoe that you want to do, and usually gonna be like the profile like this, and we're going to draw it freehand again. But just think, we're gonna start by doing like the outside of it, and then we'll work our way in, and think about like each one of these pieces as a shape. Okay, so we kind of break it down into simple shapes, and then don't worry about adding all the details until last. Okay, so we're doing on this longer piece of paper because we have plenty of room, and you know, it is a long object, so you're going to want to have it like landscape like this. All right, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to just draw again like the outside of it, and don't worry about, you know, all these little curves and stuff like that. Okay, like this is not really flat on the bottom, it does go up a little bit and all that. So when I do it on here, okay, so I'm just going to kind of just do a line going down, you know, kind of make this you know, the long part of the bottom of the shoe. It does kind of come up, and there's this angle. I don't have to worry more about getting the angle correct exactly right now. You know, and then the, like where the ankle is kind of comes up more like this. Okay, so it's going to look very simple at first. We're really just doing is make sure it fits on the paper. Okay, there is going to be some extra space around it. That's fine, but I don't want anything like itty bitty tiny. Okay, it should, you know, have enough room that you're going to have room to draw inside and everything like that. And okay, so once you kind of get that set up, which won't take that long, then you can start kind of breaking it down and making sure that you have again like a little bit more of the detail. So it's still going to just focus on the outside. Okay, but instead of just making the line down now we can see it kind of curves out a little bit. Okay, and then it goes in and then it comes out again. So when I'm down here, kind of angles out a little bit like this. And again, I'll try to encourage you to not use an eraser unless you like really have to. Okay, because then, like I said, you spend so much time erasing, you don't actually spend any time drawing. And what I'm doing is I'm drawing this, but I'm really looking at this. Okay, but I'm just trying to show you what I'm drawing. Okay, so it curves here. It's not really like this little angle anymore. So it's going to curve like that. Okay, and then the top part here, it has, you know, like I'm just going to draw this line first. Let's get this angle here. So I kind of angles up a little bit. Okay, again, I just want to see the overall angle. And now I can kind of break it up into saying like, okay, now there's this little shape that really comes up. Okay, so now I can come down here and kind of have this little shape that goes like this. Okay, and then this red part here, which you don't have to worry about color, but just this other extra curve. So it goes down, it curves up, okay, I'm not going to worry about drawing the rest of the shape right now. I'm just trying to get in the outside of it. And then like this part, again, just think about like it's another curved shape. So this is curving down, and this comes up a little bit, and then it goes down. So it's going to come like this, and then this is going to curve down. So this one pretty much matches closely what I had. It's going to go more like this. Okay. All right. And then this part down here, I think is pretty good. I actually have about the right angle. So yeah, that matches that angle here. Okay, so that helps you too, like when you're doing like freehand and stuff like that. If you kind of want to have angles and stuff, you can also use your pencil and keep it in the same place to match it up to see if you have the right angle to it. Okay, same thing from here to here to know if you made this part too long, because I could have meant like, you know, all the way over here, or not gone far enough. I could have stopped it here. How do I know if it's long enough? Okay, you do that by the angles too. So I go from the top of this to the edge, like the toe of the shoe. Okay, like where I have it here, and I'm going to try to see if here. So I have this angle to match like this. Okay, and I'm going to do it here. Okay, which it does. Okay, you see it's going to the tip of the shoe here, and it goes to the top there. Okay, so that's helping you to know, like, you know, those little extra angles to know if you did it correctly. Okay, you know, and as you kind of draw too, if you realize, you know, you might need to adjust a few things, you can. Okay, so let's keep going from the outside of the shoe. So the bottom here, it's not completely just flat, you know. Okay, we talked about how that curves down, and then even here, there's like this little, it's ever so slightly, okay, kind of curves just a little bit in there. And then really there's like these two little triangles that are taken out. It just kind of, it has the shadow, and the shadow keeps going flat. So this is where actually the, you know, where the shoe's sitting, but the tip of the shoe is actually coming up. Okay, but only at the very end. Okay, so when I go down here, I'm looking at, okay, so it's really mostly it's going to be on this line, and then where that curve is, where it goes slightly in, you know, I'm looking at it, that kind of matches up right where these two parts meet. So if I can take it and go straight down, that's the middle of the curve. So that's what I'm going to do here, is to kind of keep it the same here and go straight down. So that's where like that little curve in was, just a little bit. Okay, just to kind of get that indication of it here. So this goes here like that. And then see where it starts coming up a little bit. Let's see, so from up here, it kind of flattens up like right there. So where it's really starting to come tapering down. So you kind of, I might have to eyeball it for right now. I might have to go back and adjust it later, but it looks like it kind of starts about here. So kind of going straight down there. This is where the shoe starts coming up a little bit. And again, to kind of know, like I kind of start drawing it in, but I really should check the angle. So I have like this angle here, and I'm gonna try to match that here. Okay, that's pretty close. Okay, so that's how much the shoe is coming up. Okay, and at the end here, you know, to kind of make sure you're kind of getting that curve. Okay, so you're gonna start from the angle, and you're gonna just kind of make sure this is curved. Okay, again, depends on your shoe. Okay, then this part here, you know, for right now, I'm just going to kind of leave it because it's really going to have to go in and drawing all these laces. Okay, so I'll kind of break that down into more as we get going, but let's kind of focus on getting some more of these shapes. So I started kind of slightly drawing this shape, so I want to keep going with that shape. Okay, so it really is kind of like this almost like a triangle shape, where it's, you know, it almost comes a rounded point here, and it comes and angles back down. So I have that top of the curve, it continues on over here, even goes outside the shoe just a little bit, and you want to get that curve, like that curve, but it has this really big angle here, so it's going to come here, and this tip of the like rounded corner here, that's where it stops. It comes down a little bit. Okay, and then it angles back. Okay, so we're kind of trying to get that. Okay, and then even like how this ends here, this is a lot longer than this part, and then this also kind of angles up too. So it's kind of like really paying attention to what you're really seeing instead of just drawing it when you think it's supposed to be. So like this kind of curves back up, and then even this part, this should be more of a curve, and I think I'm making this a little too wide. So this is actually thinner than I'm giving it credit for up here. Okay, so like see, I started making it way too wide, and now I'm adjusting it. So it just, as you go, you're just constantly adjusting your lines. So I might even want to make this come in more, and then it gets wider. And again, I can test the angle like this, and I can kind of see. So yeah, so like my angle is wrong. So see how it's kind of clashing? It really should be out more this way. So I need to adjust my angle and come out more this way. Okay, so like this angle, let me try to see if I can get this angle correct. So I'm just lining it up along this side, and I'm coming down here and checking. Okay, that one's close. It's a little off. but the other one's a little closer, and then I just want to adjust that angle here. Okay, so like now I have so many lines, I want to make sure I'm using the right line. Now I can just erase just a little bit, just because I kind of adjusting my angle so many times. So, but I really try not to use an eraser too much. Try to just keep readjusting my lines. I can still see all my old lines through here, and that's fine. Just draw lightly. You know, like all these lines, they're not there anymore. Okay, so let's just go over a few more things real quick. So now that I have this one in here, okay, now the black part of the shoe, it ends, it comes in a little bit from the red, and then it dips down and comes back up here. So that's how I kind of figure out where everything else is in with relation to what you just did. So it comes down, I talked about, and then it starts curving back up. Okay, and then well, you see like all of the stitching, so it kind of helps you guide your line up here, and then it curves up, and then it comes back down. So I'm gonna do here, you know, that's where the stitching is going to be. So that actually kind of helps you to see that, and then it curves up and comes down. Okay, so I have the black area here. This is just a detail. I'm not going to add in the logo right now. I would still draw in like this line through here. That's another line. There's a bit of a space, but it follows the same line. Let's adjust that a little bit more, and that kind of just comes down and it comes back up. Okay, and I'm just adjusting because now I see when this comes up, there's still this red area goes much further down. So as you kind of go, you're like, oh, this really should be going a little further down if everything else is where it's supposed to be. There should be more space here. Okay, and then this part here, from that part, it curves up and then it comes down and it's going around now this black area. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going here, curving it down, and it comes back over this way, and then angles down. Okay, and then like, you know, as I kind of realize I need to have like this line, and I would draw this line going through before I draw all these extra features. Okay, we want to get like, that's where like the bottom, the foot actually rests, and this is like the sole. So I want to put that line in, you know, it kind of comes across here. You know, and like as you can go, you can adjust if I didn't quite make it right when I first drew this. Okay, so this part comes down here, and then the shape here, you know, you already drew around that. Now you have this angle coming up close to where the shoelaces are going to be. So I'm going to get this angle, kind of this part here, and this kind of comes up like this. Okay, that follows that same curve. And then that, just where that meets. Okay, so this is like where that curves comes down, and that's where they meet. Okay, so again, you know, I have to adjust as I go. Like down here, these are really just like 3 triangles, like overlapping. Okay, so it starts down here. One of them comes up past this line, and the angles down until it comes to this little curve line. So I'm just gonna put that line in. That's what I'm doing right here. See where I love that little curve, and then I'm gonna have this line and then that line. So just try to think of like how one line can help you make the other line, and you're just going to adjust as you go. And then this next one like doesn't come up as much. Okay. All right, so it's starting to come together, and then like I still didn't draw in this part yet, so like I would have to go over here, and like even, you know, you have extra things coming off the shoe. It comes down to where it meets this line, you know, and start getting those lines in as well. Okay, so the same thing over here. These 2 triangles kind of come together here. Okay, that would start down here and come up. Okay, and then right where the shoe starts to angle up is where this part comes down. So kind of have it like through here. Okay, so you know, I'm just going to keep doing that as I go, and start creating the whole shoe. And like I said, I can keep adjusting the lines as I go. And then once I'm done with that, I can draw in the details, okay? Like this part, you know, I have like the different, like, you know, it has this like Chinese lettering on it. It has these extra little lines inside that shape. The stitching, you know, I don't have to do all that later.